I'm not going to spill my water. I recently experienced a reoccurrence of something that for many years was really joyful and now has become pretty terrifying. It's the start of daylight savings time. For much of the country, on this evening in the fall, clocks magically spring back, and those who slumber in their beds find themselves miraculously with an extra hour of sleep. A full 60 minutes of endless possibilities, of productivity, or at least of relaxation. This is not the story of people who live with young children. Those of us with kids find that our toddlers and infants, they don't look at the clock to figure out when to begin crying and waking everyone up. So the 6 a.m. wake up becomes the 4:45 or the 5 a.m. wake up call. Kids bouncing in cribs, ready to start their day as normal. Their parents are groggy and confused, simply unable to teach the intricacies of a civil timekeeping policy by which the rest of society abides. And at 4:45, there's nowhere to go, there's nothing to do. So you start playing, you start coloring, reading books, eating Cheerios, and praying that the sun will soon rise. The uncertainty of darkness changes reality, or at least it changes toddler schedules. And the truth is, daylight savings time, it's not just a hazard for new parents. I was shocked when I learned that heart attacks increase the day following daylight savings time. Nearly 25% more on the Monday that follows than any other Monday. The Talmud teaches that when the first human, Adam, saw the first sunset, he feared that God was forever darkening the world, punishing him for his sins. He cried out, "Woe is me, because I acted offensively, the world is darkening for me, and is about to return to darkness and desolation. Indeed, this is the death that heaven had decreed for me." He slept and fasted and wept through the nights until, blessedly, the sun began to peek over the horizon and rise again. Darkness is a time of fear and uncertainty. So it's not a surprise that as we enter the Hebrew month of Kislev, the month of shortening days, coming up on the shortest day of the entire year, that we read Parshiot about our patriarch Yaakov, about Jacob. Jacob's life is punctuated by uncertainty and darkness. So much so that when the rabbis connect each of the three patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to the three traditional prayers of the day, Shacharit, Mincha, and Mariv, Jacob becomes the representative of the evening service. And Mariv is an ambiguous service itself. According to the rabbis, it's the one prayer service that's not required in the day, but is optional. Jacob's life has always been marked by confusing nights, sometimes of his own making, and sometimes imposed upon him. In darkness, he deceives. He disguises himself before his father to receive the blessing, the birthright meant for Esau. And in darkness, he is deceived. On his wedding night, Leah stands in for Rachel. In each of those moments, what one thinks they see turns out to be otherwise. This is the vulnerability of the night, when the order we depend on becomes unstable, and what seems clear becomes uncertain. Luckily for us, Jacob gives us two additional examples of living in and with darkness that may provide us a path forward. At the beginning of this week's Parsha, Jacob is escaping his brother Esau and is forced to rest on his way to Haran because, as we are told, the sun had set and darkness had overcome. Jacob rests his head on a rock and proceeds to have his most memorable dream of angels ascending and descending a ladder. Rabbinic Midrash teaches that these angels represent the great nations of the world. Each nation rising and falling, ascending and descending. With the nation of Esau, called Edom, ascending into the clouds and not descending. Jacob wakes from his dream, still moored in the unresolved vision he encountered in the night. Yet in that moment, even in this uncertainty, maybe Esau will remain ascendant, he makes a most significant choice. He builds an altar to God, and he expresses his gratitude. Surely God is present in this place, and I did not know it. Jacob arrives in the uncertainty of darkness. He has a dream in which he worries that evil may be ascendant. He's not quite sure. But when he wakes up and sees the day break, he realizes that even amongst the uncertainty, God has been present the entire time. That God follows, maybe specifically, follows us into the moments when we cannot see so clearly. It's a Stoic principle. Seneca once wrote, "The wise one is not harmed by injury. Their only harm is their own response." And the rabbis of the Talmud teach that when one is outside of their village and they see a fire in their neighborhood, they shouldn't pray that the fire has not consumed their house. In other words, they should not pray for a different outcome. Rather, they should direct their heart to respond to whatever has befallen them with poise, and as Jacob did, with gratitude. Jacob's first response to darkness is as the dreamer. He possesses the uncertainty that he faces, but instead of trying to resolve it, he focuses on gratitude. "How awesome is this place," he exclaims upon waking. And Jacob offers us a different way to confront darkness. Not as a dreamer, but as a fighter. In next week's Parsha, Jacob will strive through the darkest part of the night with an angel. As the sun is rising, the divine figure says, "Let me go, for the dawn is breaking." But instead of letting go, Jacob holds on and demands a blessing from the divine messenger. And Jacob leaves the encounter forever changed. He now will be called Yisrael, the one who wrestled with God. Contemporary biblical scholar Aviva Zornberg suggests that Jacob's wrestling in the dark of night may be a self-wrestling. She writes, "Jacob already knows in himself the purpose of the angel's coming. For essentially, he is facing himself, the desire and feared necessity of a new name. He has summoned the angel to save him." This time, Jacob does not confront the darkness as a dreamer, but as a fighter. He challenges himself to change. He confronts the part of himself that is keeping him most stuck before he attempts to reconcile with his brother. And he wins. Through his struggle, his name is changed, and he's ready to walk forward, changed by the work that he does in the shadows of the night. We know that darkness will come. Some of us are sitting in moments of uncertainty, fear, and sadness right now. And all of us will have our moments of darkness. We enter this month of Kislev, and each day it gets darker and darker. And if not at this season, there will simply be seasons of our lives in which we feel like the wool has been pulled over our eyes. And in those moments, we can focus on Yaakov. Not because he gives us the answer of how to confront our doubts and uncertainty, but rather because he gives us choices. Perhaps in some moments, the correct response to the fear of the unknown is to focus on what is clear, to celebrate all that we have and sing a song of gratitude. God is truly in this place. And at other times, we're called to fight, to look at the uncertainty, and to go deep within ourselves to find what might be holding us back. to find support where we need it, and also to engage in the inner work to find new clarity, to wrestle with the angel inside of us, and to be forever changed. So if you're willing, I'm going to invite us to take a moment right now. You can close your eyes if you'd like, but you don't need to. Where in my life am I entering the confusion, the doubts, the fear, the darkness? And now, what kind of Jacob am I called to be? The dreamer, the fighter, somewhere in between? How would it feel to let go or to struggle with the darkness that I'm carrying with me? How might I change it? And how might it change me? Torah, it doesn't often give us the answers, I'm sorry to say. But as you can see, it's exceptionally good at asking us the essential and probing questions of our soul curriculum. And the good news is you don't need to answer these questions completely at this moment. Each time we pray, we evoke Jacob, Elohei Yaakov. We tell God that we are descendants of the one who prayed at night, who set up altars of praise, who struggled and who allowed his name and himself to be changed. Jacob's new name, Yisrael, becomes the name of our people. It's the name of our people. We are asked to struggle with the darkness and to become an or lagoyim, a light unto the nations. So perhaps we won't solve my daylight savings time dilemma. Truthfully, I'm more of a dreamer these days, cherishing the extra playtime at 4:45 in the morning, and the cuddles and even the messes of my two little ones. But on other days, I do think we are called to wrestle. Maybe as we approach Hanukkah, that's what we're being asked to do. To light a candle and to remind each other that the light is returning. Shabbat Shalom.